It was Suge Knight, right? Who was like, I'm not gonna be the producer that's always up in the videos, right? My husband's like that. He's not trying to be up in the videos all the time. So, I'll sprinkle him in here or there, but just for his privacy and because he did not sign up to be a social media guru or social media influencer. There's other things that I, choose to share or choose not to share. Whatever works for you, you'll have to make that decision. Or in the case of my entrepreneurs, they want to keep their main entrepreneurial business, but they know they have a lot of wisdom and a lot of insight that they want to share with other women, and they want to get into the women's empowerment game, but they're just like, I don't know, I don't want to be dancing, on TikTok. I don't want to have to share too much. Hey, Courtney Sanders here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to me, I'm a full-time life and business coach as well as wife and mom. I wear all the hats and do all the things. You should see the production that was required just to get this video set up with the kids. It's dinner time as I'm recording this, so if you hear some screams in the background, I apologize in advance, but hopefully you understand because I do this to help you turn your success story into a 6 or 7 figure personal brand, which is really fitting for what we're gonna talk about today. And this is a topic I've actually heard a lot from a lot of my clients that I work with in person, and that is, how do you build a personal brand on social media without sharing too much? So isn't that a great topic? I've had a few women speak to me about this because these women are really high profile professionals in their arena. So I work with a lot of women who have very successful, 7, 8 figure businesses in more traditional arenas. Maybe they do government contracting or contracting with other large corporations, or they're a high profile corporate professional, but they're interested in building their personal brand. Maybe they want to build it on the side and they're not quite sure if they want to quit their job. Or in the case of my entrepreneurs, they want to keep their main entrepreneurial business, but they know they have a lot of wisdom and a lot of insight that they want to share with other women, and they want to get into the women's empowerment game, but they're just like, I don't know, I don't want to be dancing, on TikTok. I don't want to have to share too much and, embarrass myself. I have a lot of really high profile connections. Courtney, can I honestly build my personal brand online without, oversharing? And the answer is absolutely. And so I'm gonna tell them, and by extension, tell you exactly how you can build your personal brand on social media without sharing too much. So with that, let's get into it. All right, the first key to building your personal brand on social media without sharing too much is truly knowing your niche. Now, I talk a lot about knowing your niche from the perspective of how being narrow, at least in the beginning, helps you attract clients. But when it comes to building your personal brand on social media and not overexposing yourself or sharing too much, knowing your niche is also really important because it guides what you talk about. So I'm obviously on social media a lot. I share a lot of content, and in many respects, I'm very open in the sense that people know my personality, they kind of know my mindset and what I think about things. But if you really think about it, even the things that I share are all connected and related to my niche in some way, right? So everything always maps back to either building a brand or building generational wealth or personal development. Anything that is not really related to that or does not support that, I don't really share it. And so there is a way to be open and transparent and kind of seem like you're everywhere and like you're sharing everything, but really you're not. And so I've done that from the beginning, and that's the first thing you need to keep in mind if that's something that really worries you. Really focus on knowing your niche, and then you can just share content within the bounds of that niche. All right, the second thing that you'll need to do if you want to grow your personal brand on social media without sharing too much is that you need to decide in advance what you will and what you will not share. I've decided this in advance. In fact, one of the key things that I have a hard line on and I do not share on social media, I do not share my kids' faces and I do not share my kids' names. So I might have them, in a reel or something, but typically you'll see like the back of their head or them running away from the camera, and I don't share their information because one, just personal safety. I mean, we live in a crazy world. Definitely not about to have my kids just out here on the internet like that with all the crazy people that are out there. Also, with me being a public personality, people unfortunately try to impersonate me. I have my social media profiles copied a lot. I'm currently dealing with that on Instagram, reporting a lot of accounts that are creating these like fake, names that are spelled incorrectly or trying to use my name with like underscores or stars or asterisks after it because they then follow follow my followers and try to solicit them to do a donation or Bitcoin. So if anybody with a name that kind of looks like Courtney Sanders, but is not Courtney L. Sanders, messages you asking for Bitcoin, it's not me, okay? I only have one account and I will never message you asking for Bitcoin or donations or anything crazy like that. But because I know that I deal with this and they copy my posts and they copy my photos, the last thing that I want is for them to copy posts and photos of my children. So that's just an example of something that I, had a hard decision at the very beginning, like hard line, I will not be sharing that on social media. There's other aspects of my marriage that I don't share on social media, just for the protection of my husband. He doesn't mind being featured every once in a while, but I'm not gonna have him, in every single video, right? I think about Puffy, P. Diddy, when he was like, or no, it was Suge Knight, right? Who was like, I'm not gonna be the producer that's always up in the videos, right? My husband's like that. He's not trying to be up in the videos all the time. So, I'll sprinkle him in here or there, but just for his privacy and because he did not sign up to be a social media guru or social media influencer, I made the decision that I wasn't really gonna put him out there like that as well. So, there's other things that I, choose to share or choose not to share. Whatever works for you, you'll have to make that decision. Now, I'm not saying my decisions are right and your decisions are wrong. Maybe you have more of a family brand or you deal with, family, parenting, marriage. And so it's appropriate for you to share your spouse or for you to share your children or whatever on social media. But the point is, again, back to our first point, know your niche. And once you know what that is and what makes sense in the bounds of your niche, then you can go to this step, number 2, and decide what you will and won't share before you begin sharing. That way you don't have to worry about oversharing. All right, the third thing to keep in mind when you are creating a personal brand is that you are creating content for your audience, not you. And so this is a fine line that I find a lot of coaches deal with because they're not quite sure what to post on social media. They're not sure how to create strategic content, that client attracting content, all these things that I talk about in many of my programs, including my latest and my signature program, the Next Big Name Bootcamp, which you can check out a preview of that right here. But in that program and elsewhere, I talk about how important it is for you to create content, yes, that you enjoy and that you like and that fits your, is in your wheelhouse and fits your passion and all of those amazing things. But understand that you're creating this content for your audience, not for you, right? Even this video, I don't have the problem of oversharing on social media. That's not a question of mine, but I know that that is a question of my clients and that is a question of my audience. So that's why I'm taking the time, this evening, despite screaming kids in the background, to do this video because I am creating this content for you. I am creating this content for my audience. And so really I find that the risk of oversharing comes when we start to use our social media almost like a diary, or we do it for, for ourselves. We start creating posts because we want to get things off of our chest or we want to talk about things. Nothing wrong with that, but if you make your content all about what you want to talk about and not really the benefit that your audience is getting and how you want to serve them, you do start to kind of run that fine line of, ooh, I don't know, you really had to get that off your chest, but was that the right thing to talk about and did you overshare? So I find that if you just stay focused on what you are offering your audience and what you want to communicate for them, then you run less risk of oversharing on social media. All right, I have a lot more where that came from, but first I want to hear from you. Are you naturally a private or an open person? Go ahead and share in the comments below. All right, the fourth thing that is really gonna help you when it comes to building your personal brand on social media without oversharing is diving deeper. And I know that that sounds almost like the opposite, like, no, Courtney, I don't wanna dive deeper. I don't wanna share more information. No, what I mean is related to the third point I shared about how you create content for your audience, not necessarily for you. You wanna dive deeper into those topics. So once you identify what your niche is and kind of what your content pillars need to be based on your niche, one great way to keep from oversharing is simply just to dive deeper into each one of those pillars. So if you are a health and wellness coach and one of your pillars is about a plant-based diet, instead of just talking about what you want to talk about at the moment or running the risk of oversharing, you can just simply dive deeper into all the aspects of eating plant-based that is going to support your audience and is going to help them. So maybe they have questions about what actually is a plant-based meal, maybe plant-based meal prep, maybe plant-based food when you're pregnant. Like, see how these are all like almost subtopics or like micro topics of that one content pillar. So the more you drill down down and the deeper you dive, the more focused you are on the content that is ultimately gonna help your audience, and the more out of the weeds you stay, right? You stay out of the weeds of your personal life and running the risk of oversharing. So think about different ways that you can dive deeper into the topic that you're actually an expert at and that is related to your niche and that is gonna support your audience and that will keep you from oversharing on social media. All right, the fifth thing that's gonna keep you from sharing too much as you build your brand on social media is simply to batch create. Yes, I talk about this in my video, which you can check out right here, which is all about how I create social media without burning myself out. And one of the strategies that I share in that is my process for batch content creation. Again, that's part of the reason why I'm recording this video in the evening despite screaming kids, is because I love to knock all of my videos out in one sitting, and then I don't have to worry about it until it's the next time for me to batch create. And so this really helps you because if you are, again, creating in advance, you know your niche, you know what you're gonna talk about and what you're not gonna talk about, what opportunity is there to overshare? There really isn't an opportunity because you've kind of already scripted out and decided what you were gonna talk about as you were batch creating your content. So I really love this strategy because it's kind of a 2-for-1. One, you get a lot of content created that you can repurpose and distribute everywhere and you don't have to work so hard to do it. But two, it creates those guardrails where it makes it very difficult for you to step out of the bounds of what you've told yourself you wanted to talk about on social media because you've scripted everything in advance and all that content is recorded and you can't really break your own rules. Once you've created it, it's already out there and it's done. All right, I hope this video was helpful. If it was, and you know that you really need to nail your niche so that you can get clear on the content that you need to be creating, I invite you to my free 5-day Nail Your Niche challenge that's coming up very soon. Again, this is a free live challenge. Yes, it's live with yours truly. I'm doing a bit of an experiment to see how this goes. I'm not sure how long I'm gonna do it, if I'm gonna do it in the future, or if I'm definitely gonna do it for free in the future. I cannot say, but as of this recording, if you click the link below and you see spots available, you can go ahead and sign up. It's a challenge where for 5 days, I'm gonna be helping you nail your niche. Now, even though it's free, understand that I do limit the spots, and I limit the spots because I have an option where people can upgrade via the VIP option to get direct coaching and feedback from me on their niche. And so because I want everybody to have the opportunity to get the feedback that they need while participating, we limit the number of spots. So if you click the link below and you see that spots are available, go ahead and sign up because once that timer hits 0 and all our spots are gone, we automatically change the page over to a wait list, and then you'll have to wait until the next time that we open it. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. And if you want even more where this came from, make sure you check me out on my podcast, The Courtney Sanders Show, on both Spotify and iTunes. And if you want even more where that came from, follow me over on Instagram. Again, it's CourtneyLSanders, right? There's no crazy names or initials or underscores. It's just a simple, just CourtneyLSanders. How you see it spelled here is me. So follow that one account because I don't have any other accounts. Any other account is a spammer, to see the behind the scenes of my life as well as really great tips like this. And with that, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.